Right, so recording the drive to work. Take 2. Yesterday was an abject failure. Let's see if today works. We have to drive a little more smoothly and a little more carefully. So, leaving the complex. As you can see, no bars, but they have electric fences here. So, a different approach to security. Mambo. So, where are we? Well, it's Dar es Salaam, but this is an area called Oyster Bay, and Oyster Bay is in Masaki. Masaki is what would be described as a leafy suburb. And of course, as we all know, leafy is a euphemism for upmarket, expensive. So we have an upmarket, expensive suburb, and it looks like my phone's going to fall. Don't know how far I'm going to get with this. We shall see. We shall see how far we get with this. We shall see. So plan B may not have worked. Anyhow, as you can see, the roads here are very nice because typically in leafy suburbs, the roads are very nice, smooth, pothole free. But as you'll see, if it lasts the whole way, that's not the entire journey. Someone asked me, what's it like driving in Tanzania? And my answer is, it's like Jamaica in slow motion. People drive just the same, it's slower. So in other words, 12 years of driving in Jamaica is fabulous training for driving in Tanzania, because you just say, I have a pretty good idea that drive's going to do something stupid, but he's probably going to do it a lot more slowly than he would if he was in Jamaica. Phone's wobbling again. I'm not sure how well this is going to work, but I'm going to keep trying. Really trying hard to wobble a bit. I'm going to move you across now. See if I can get this to work over here. Maybe it might be a little bit stiffer here. It seems a little. That's a bit better, isn't it? That's better. Okay, good. So the first 2 minutes were wonky, and now we're a little less wonky. Okay, first pothole of the morning. Now we're heading on to Haile Selassie Road, I think it's called. I might be wrong. No, it's not. Or was it Chole Road? I can't remember. I know the way. Don't know the names of the roads. During the day, it's actually pretty great to drive here. No problems at all. Night is a little more difficult because at night there's very limited street lights. They've got all these fancy street lights, solar power, but none of it seems to work. So it's very dark, and you can't tend to see turning, so you've got to know where you're driving. First 3 days was really, really tough. But anyhow, here we go. If we're lucky, we may even see a monkey. A couple of times I've seen monkeys. It's like the why did the monkey cross the road? Want to get to the banana shop. Terrible, I know. Sort of stupid jokes we do as a kid. Oops. We have the speed bumps in the road. Sleeping policeman or secret policeman. But overall, down here, most of the road is pretty good down here. So we're still in the leafy suburb. And one of the slightly weird things, I'm in the suburb heading towards work. I actually seem to be going against traffic in the morning and the same in the evening, which is pretty cool, I think. Anyhow, right. So we're just going to turn left here. There's a tuk-tuk. Now, if you look around, you'll see Tanzania is a model in many ways. As you look at the people, you'll see some people who are obviously Muslim and other people who are obviously Christian. And I reckon I can see it's about a roughly 50-50 split. But in Tanzania, Muslims and Christians, they live and they work side by side. No issues at all. When you think about other countries, 2 different types of Muslim are killing each other, or 2 different types of Christian are killing each other. So I think that's a lesson to the rest of the world. But still in Masaki, still nice roads. Looking rather pleasant. No monkeys. I saw a monkey on Sunday. what it was, the monkey was obviously going tree to tree, and there was a big gap across a wide road, so the monkey had to demount from the tree to cross the road. So it came down a tree, across the road, and up the first tree. We have the coaster buses here, a little bit larger, and yes, they are equally bad drivers. Well, almost as bad as the typical Jamaican coaster driver. A little bit slower, I suppose. As you can see, going against the traffic, which is rather nice. I don't quite understand it, because I'm living in a residential area, but clearly there are people who must work that way who live somewhere else. So anyhow, not complaining, because both ways it makes my life. And here we have our first major pothole. Getting to know the potholes quite well. See the tuk-tuk, the green and blue tuk-tuk. Haven't been on one of those yet on this trip. Well, maybe mainly because I have a car. Way. Of course, you're feeling it, because every time you hit a bump, the camera is shaking. So so if the I apologise if the potholes are making you feel sick. I'll shut up and let you enjoy the view. Oh, coming to the right is the Cape Town Fish Market. It's a South African small chain of restaurants. Very nice, beautiful views. I had dinner there a couple of times. Once on this trip, once 2 years ago. Very pleasant it was. Just against the traffic, against the tuk-tuks. One of the challenges of the tuk-tuks, and I'm sure we'll see it at some stage, is the tuk-tuks don't realise they're actually wider than motorcycles. And so they sort of try and, oh, I'll cut into the other lane, and it gives you a choice. You've either got to ram on your brakes, or you go off the road. As you can see, the edges of the roads here are not always great. But overall, you know, not that dramatically different from Jamaica, really. Okay. Nice fella, thank you very much. Still against traffic, which is nice. We'll eventually hit a little bit of traffic, but it'll be some way off. And I'm really trying to drive smoothly, but you wait till you hit the road. If we get that, if it gets that far, you wait till we hit the road up to the office. But so far, so goody. Quite an easy drive. And, if you look at the cars, especially the SUVs, you'll see a lot of expats, a lot of Brits out here. A lot more than in Jamaica. I mean, if I see a white person in Jamaica, I start talking to them, they're going to have that weird uptown Jamaican accent. But here, no, they're more likely to talk like me, talk English properly. How words sound when they're pronounced correctly. Up speed bump. I'll try not to wobble you too much. I'll just put my finger on the camera, see if I can just stop it. Okay. Now Google Maps in the when I came the other day, they took me down that road, so I came the other way. I fell across the road, and that is bumpy. Google Maps doesn't know the difference between a mud track and paved road, so Google Maps is a little bit of a challenge here. Be very careful with it. A mixture here, like quite a sort of construction, semi-finished construction. You really could still be in Jamaica, though. I honestly think you could still be in Jamaica. Not that dramatically different. Oh, the tuk-tuk park. I don't know if you saw that. Probably not. This is pretty rare. I don't know what to say here, because it's just driving and it's road and it's all pretty clear. There's chaps in hard and there's humps ahead apparently. So I'd be careful of the hump. These are the speed bumps. Well, here's a high-speed tuk-tuk coming, a red high-speed tuk-tuk. Yeah, I'm going to have to do this again. I'm going to get a more. I mean, this is improvement. I mean, the camera isn't now at least staying, but it must be it's very wobbly. I keep trying to still my aching heart, but and also, you know what? I've never timed my journey to work. Oh, that'll be interesting. So we've been going 10 minutes so far. So probably means the whole drive's going to be about 15 minutes to work. So you know, I thought I'd guess about what I was thinking was. This is not the route that Google Maps takes you, by the way. Google Maps takes you on a much longer route for some reason. Don't know why. It's both longer and has more traffic. I suppose. Indicative, I suppose. Garbage in, garbage out. Okay, now we're on the main road. Oh, see, this is what I mean. Tuk-tuk doesn't know, he thinks it's a motorcycle. Yes, doesn't realise they're actually nearly as wide as a car. Oy, there you go, good old wobble again. Put you back up. See, another tuk-tuk in the middle of the road. Every morning I come past this, you can see just ahead there's a commercial for TV or the World Cup or something. It's for TVs, I think, and or TV. And there's Messi and there's Ronaldo and there's another bloke in the middle. I mean, you can only assume he's Tanzanian. Oh, see, tuk-tuk. So look at the road. You see, there's no space for the tuk-tuk and me, unless I go off the road, which is obviously what he's expecting me to do. Right, so we are now taking the turn to the office. This is where you're going to bounce around now, because this road is horrible, and I guarantee you that every day this road gets a little bit longer. I mean, by the time I leave, it's going to be like 2 miles long. Whee! Sorry about that, chaps. So I'm going to try and hold you up, keep you still. This is really bumpy. As you can see, this is horrible. I'm never going to complain about Jamaican roads. Well, I am. Of course, I'm going to complain about Jamaican roads. But I'm not going to complain when I first get back, because I'm going to remember this. But of course, memory fades, and I'm going to say, oh, these terrible Jamaican roads. But maybe I should just remind myself. Maybe I could keep this video and just play it back to myself and just remind myself how painful it is. I mean, fortunately, I'm driving an SUV. It's a RAV4, so a little bit of height. First few days I had a regular sedan car, and that was tough. But I had to pick my route quite carefully, because there are several places where you scrape the bottom. Okay, whoa. Honestly, I promise you we're almost there now. This is not fun. Every day, twice a day, up and down, up and down. I don't typically leave the office during the day, though. Really couldn't be bothered. Okay. How you doing up there? Still shaking around, feeling a bit seasick? Probably. Ugh. I am going to see what I can do about getting some form of... I get a mount. If I can get a decent mount, I might be able to fix it to the screen and give you a less wobbly ride. So I'm sort of watching this is probably going to make you seasick if you're still watching. And there on the left is the White Star Tower, and that's where the Milvic office is. And here the company uses the brand Milvic because the word Bima is Swahili for insurance. So you know, it's like in Jamaica having an insurance company that's called Insurance. So for that reason, we have to use the Milvic brand rather than the Bima brand. Well, here we are. We're at work, and now I've got to go in and look busy for a few hours.